And isn't it fair to say he's making some throws down the field and seeing some things he didn't see his first 3 years? And when you do that, it's the risk-reward changes, and there are going to be some times.
Yeah, I don't know that I would say he's seeing things that maybe he didn't see before. I just think we're aggressively attacking as an offense, and certainly it helps when you have playmakers on the outside that can make those plays. And, everybody wants to be in a vertical attacking offense. Easier said than done. I think we've done that. That was a plan coming into this season. I think Kellen's done a good job of filling out when to make those calls, and they've been some big plays for us. And so, how do you manage keep taking them? We're going to keep taking shots, and that's why he's a really good quarterback. He has to make that decision of when do you take it and when do you check it down. And, I think it works hand in hand. I thought he's done a really good job of creating a lot of those big plays, even in the game the other night.
So as he's gotten more experience, you guys have moved away from being so running back centric and featured the passing game more with the weapons you have.
I don't think that's the case. I mean, that game got away from us, so it kind of forced us to be one-dimensional. I mean, I think anybody that would come into our meetings offensively, we say we're going to be an attacking offense, but we're also going to do it a number of different ways. And we're going to run the football. We believe our strength in the offensive line and obviously Zeke. It's a mindset, but there's a number of ways you can get to that. We feel like you can take those vertical passing games and then wear them down, and then Zeke can get his carries too. So I think Sunday was kind of a poor example just because the game got away from us. And it just goes back to the fundamentals of you got to be able to protect the football. You can't get sloppy with it. Really, these last two games, and it's everybody. It doesn't just fall on the quarterback.
What do you see when you put the tape of the Jets up?
Well, it's a good defense. Gone against Greg Williams for a lot of years. He really is a defensive architect, and the way he draws them up, brings a lot of different pressures. He's a confident coach. You can see that in the way they play. A lot of man-to-man. They challenge you. So strong inside. I think the safety Jamal Adams is a good player, very instinctive. So it'll be a challenge. They played against some good offenses in Philly and the Patriots.
Where is this team after 5 games?
Well, I think it's a united group, and I said all along I love playing with these guys. It's a accountable group. Certainly we've got off the track. We've got derailed a little bit the last 2 weeks, and you have to be accountable to that. We haven't played good football offensively. We haven't done it consistently enough. So, we're still a confident group. There's a formula that allows you to win. You can't turn the ball over against good teams. And then the plays, we feel like we got some momentum even in that game. I don't believe in the loser's creed, but I do feel like, the tape doesn't lie from that standpoint. I still think we're a really good offense, a good football team. And, but talk's cheap. You got to get back on track. You got to go get a tough win on the road.
Obviously, you guys are going to try and turn the page from what happened the last couple of weeks, but around this locker room, around this team this week, is there a certain sense, a certain mood about where you guys are at and what you want to do this weekend?
Well, I think Coach Garrett does a good job of, not overreacting. Just 10, 11 days ago was a different story, but that's this league, you got to go prove it every week. You play against good teams and you make mistakes, you're not going to win. Every week's a challenge, and it's a little bit cliche to say that, but that's the truth. I think this group is as confident as I've been on, even after the 2 losses. And I think what comes from that is the ability to come in on Monday and watch it and be critical and say, okay, doing a lot of good things, but these are the things we have to clean up. And so everybody's working towards that. I like our chances. We keep working the way we are, and I still like our chances as a football team.
Jason, I'm not sure how well you know.
Errol Spence, DFW boxing champ, hospitalized after a car accident this morning. Such a big fan of the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Fought at the Star, fought at AT&T Stadium. Your thoughts?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of fans of his in this building, in this room, being a Dallas guy, so just thoughts and prayers go out to him with that accident. We support him when he fights, and he got a good way about it. I know a lot of guys know him in here, so just praying for him, hoping he can get back on track. Quick recovery.
Is this offense more vertical than it was in 16 and 17, do you think?
Yeah, I think that'd be fair to say through 5 games. Look, and I think you always want to be attacking offensively. It all goes into the looks when you get those play calls, and it'd be unfair to say, oh, we weren't that in those years. It's just we've taken advantage of when the defense has given us some good looks. We've gone against it. Even Green Bay, with that lead, they were playing a lot of man-to-man, so allowed for some double moves. Amari's made some huge plays. Gallup made some big plays in one-on-one coverage. So that excites you if you can win like that in one-on-one. I'm sure it gives Kellen a lot of confidence to keep calling them, And so doing some different things with the action game, knowing that they want to come down and stop the running game, that we're going to take, attack vertically. So, yeah, I think through 5 games that's shown up. It's going to have to continue to show up. The best offenses are able to attack vertically without question. But, I did some film study on some of those college guys for the draft and right after the draft, and I just thought he's very instinctive. My opinion of the quarterback position, a lot of times we refer to it as they have that it factor, their ability to create plays. And, my experience in the best quarterbacks I've been around is they see it before other people see it. And they can, they feel it. They know how to get to those positions to make those throws and throw the receivers open. And I saw that in him. He's a very instinctive player. Obviously, he can throw the football and do all those things with the throwing motion, but his ability to throw his receivers open, feel the rush, know where to go with it. I saw a lot of similarities with what Tony did as a player and for so long. So that's a great trait to have, to be able to do that. And I know our guys have a lot of great things to say about him, getting back out there.
Did Tony agree with your assessment? Did he see some of himself in what?
I think so. I'm sure we'll find out on Sunday. He's calling the game, isn't he? But yeah, I think he would, he would agree to that. So anybody that's a really good quarterback, yeah, we got a lot of similarities, just like tight ends, So.
Are you going to be part of the production meeting with Tony?
I don't know yet. So I'm sure we'll find out.
How will that go with that?
Yeah, we've done it a couple times, So, I think a couple years have passed. It's just another production meeting at this point. But, I think the first one, being here back at the Star, was a little bit different, but maybe a little awkward at different points. But he's sat in enough of those meetings over the years, in the last couple of years. He's pretty confident in what he wants to get out of those meetings.
You were on the other side last year for Mari's first game here, setting up for that Monday night game. What kind of has his impact on this passing game surprised you? Like if you look at the numbers.
Yeah,
he got here to now, it's pretty dramatic.
Yeah, I think Stephen and Jerry knew something in that trade. Look, I just think when you watch him, and even going back last year, the rare ability in a receiver is, can they go up and make big plays? It's the threat vertically, sure. But the combination of being able to do that and then have the quickness to win at the line of scrimmage, to get separation, that's a rare combination for a top receiver. And he has all those traits. Yeah, he has top end speed, he can go vertical, but his change up at the line of scrimmage to get these defenders to open up sooner rather than later has allowed him to have a lot of separation on underneath routes. So, yeah, he can beat you vertically, but he can also beat you underneath. He's got good feel in zone coverage. He's a dynamic player. He really is.
His ability to do both of those things, is that why he's been so effective with double moves like we saw on Sunday?
Yeah, I just think, he has great patience on his slants, his underneath routes. So by doing that, the double moves has made defenders, it's tough to defend because you're really challenging their patience. They want to be patient and stay over top. If you have any defensive back, it's like play high to low. Well, yeah, but if he has that same patience on his quick game as he does on his double moves, it's hard to get a feel for a defender, and he's not afraid. I think any good route runner, the ability to press the defender's weakness and really challenge them there, he just has a really good feel for that, and some of that's taught in film study, but some of that's just natural ability that he has of timing in his head, and it's allowed him to get some great separation, and more than anything else, Dak and his timing. They're on the same page with when they're expecting throws and what they're seeing in coverage, and I think they've made what could be a tough transition for, he's only been here, 16 games. They've made that seem very easy in the process of going through that anybody that's been around this league for a short amount of time, you realize that's not always the case. It takes a lot of reps, a lot of practice to go through that, and they've done it in a short time.